This is the Bitcoin 1 month overview reading for the month of June 2025. It's currently May 31st, 2025, 5:51 p.m. Eastern Time. Bitcoin at the time of this reading, $104,869.60. That's USD. The shuffle video for the June reading was created May 25th, 2025 at 9:34 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video playing right here. Now, what we're going to go over in this video, we'll go over the overall trend direction for Bitcoin in the month of June. We're going to give you the day-by-day sequence of chart events throughout the entire month of June. And we'll give you roughly where we see peaks and troughs. At the end of the video, we're going to give you one of the best trades that we see for the month as well. But that's really just so you can see that this stuff works. We're not right all the time. We're right most of the time. But it's important to understand, guys, the sequence of chart events is what we're predicting. The timing is secondary, meaning that not each card's energy will line up perfectly with 1 day of time. And for that reason, sometimes you need to give the sequence of chart events, or the timing, I should say, plus or minus a day or two of wiggle room on some of these monthlies. And for that reason, mainly, I do not recommend trading this information alone. You should paper trade if you want to test it out. If you're looking to trade this information and really step it up and take it seriously, what you need to do is get our monthly access subscription, which provides you with live Discord trade alerts. So when we are plus or minus a day here or there of wiggle room, I'm able to keep you guys on track. I've been doing this for 26 years, guys, almost 27 now. And we'll also give you live trading view chart drawings that kind of give you an idea in ahead of time of where the entry and the exit, the highs and the lows for the month will be. So I'll show you how to get all that at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. We're right after we give you one of the best trades that we see. All right, and with that said, let's get into it. The overall trend and behavior for Bitcoin in June, we have a rally along a diagonal trend line, relevant on like a one year chart scale along a diagonal trend line that'll end with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through the diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. It's crossed with a notable opportunity to close out of long positions and possibly open up short positions, which I'll talk about in more detail as we progress through the reading. Behavior around the high side, we have an important resistance level highlighted that we've either failed to break through many times in the past and or will fail to break through many times in the future. It's important, relevant on a 1 year chart scale again. Everything in this reading is going to be relevant on a 1 month chart scale unless otherwise specified. So this resistance will be relevant on a 1 year chart scale. Behavior around the lowest low, we'll have a rally that's halted by a decline through key support level on a 1 year chart scale. We'll break down through that support level into the low. Now, before I go any further, I just want to make sure you guys are aware the whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that by following through on the rule of karma. You go to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of all profits should be donated forward to one of these charities here. 5% of all profits should be donated back to the channel through one of these links. It leaves you at 90%. You're paying it forward, keeping the flow of abundance going through the universe. We're paying it backwards because it's the right thing to do, express gratitude. And it leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend the 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, it makes you an angel investor of the channel. You do that regularly, and we'll send you a link to our private angel investor Discord channels. Much love and appreciation. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get into it. All right, so again, guys, sequence of chart events trumps the timing, but here around the first we should have out of a decline a big move to a big move higher, even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds or some sort of scary chart behavior. Rally continuing on the second, pushing the upper end of a range higher, and the rally continues further on the third, increasing with momentum moving forward in time. We attempt to establish support on the fourth. And it looks like we end up in a trough early in the day on the 5th, and we bump along resistance sideways, maybe break through resistance, and then bump along resistance sideways some more. There should be an important trough on a 1 month scale there on the 5th. Important trough at the end of the day, roughly on the 6th. We'll probably establish a key support level on at least a 1 month scale, maybe a 1 year chart scale there between the 5th and the 6th. And then there should be a move into a peak early in the day on the 7th, followed by a decline out of that peak, down to and through support to meet another support, and then we rotate sideways along that second support. A rally on the 8th turns over, creating an opportunity. Sharp decline taking place probably starting on the 8th, but if not on the 8th, probably on the 9th then. or even the 10th, or maybe all of them, but there should be a pretty substantial decline there based on that unicursal hexagram there on the 9th. We should also have a pop and a drop taking place on the 9th. A lot of volatility on the 10th with a sharp drop into a trough early in the day on the 10th, or overnight into the early morning. There's a resistance level on the 10th and the 11th that will fall from into a trough, important on a 1 month scale, and then we'll return to it either on the 10th and on the 11th, or on the 11th. Either that way, it creates a pretty significant trade opportunity, which I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version of this video. Another trough on the 11th, sideways rotation on the 12th that ends with a fast sudden move higher. A trough early in the day on the 13th with another move to the upside taking place, pretty substantial move out of that trough. Crest on the 14th that will turn over and break down to and through support. We'll do a U-shaped reversal below that price level, come back, break through it to the upside, and then reuse it as support. Trough around the cusp of the 14th, 15th. I'm advised not to chase the decline into that trough. We have a rally into key resistance on the 15th, and when we hit that resistance, we break down with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. Important trade opportunity on the 16th with a lot of price change early in the day on the 16th. Let's see if we can identify what direction. Probably to the upside out of it like an opportunity, but let's see. Looks like it's a lot of a price change to the downside early in the day on the 16th, and that probably means there's a reversal there with another prominent peak late in the day on the 16th, or around the cusp of the 16th, 17th. Should be a near overbought crest that we sell off from through multiple support levels on the 17th into a prominent trough. A peak forming on the 18th, a prominent peak that'll stand out with a sharp drop out of that peak. Probably some rally along a diagonal trend line, fast sudden move higher, then a breakdown creating that peak. A lot of volatility and price change on the 19th. The 20th, we have an important support level on a 1 month scale minimum that's highlighted there, and likely there's a lot of price change into and or out of that support peak at the end of the day. U-shaped dip on the 21st with a breakout that probably doesn't hold. Likely somebody speaking, impacting Bitcoin, and what they're speaking about should not be relied upon or trusted as far as making trade decisions regarding Bitcoin. Not everything that they're saying will have come to be true, either intentionally or unintentionally, hard to say. But it looks like there's something being hidden there. And then on the 22nd, we have a rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through a horizontal resistance to meet another resistance. We have a prominent peak there, and then we break back down to somewhere between those two resistances towards the end of the day. A lot of price change on the 23rd as well, with an important support level on a multi-day scale there highlighted on the 23rd, probably at least on a 1 month scale, and a prominent peak there as well. An important price level highlighted around the cusp of the 23rd, 24th, and a fast sudden move higher taking us into a peak towards the end of the day on the 24th, or on the cusp of the 24th, 25th. A decline from that peak into the 25th, creating another prominent trough, and then that trough forms when the decline ends with a fast sudden move higher, either at the end of the day on the 25th or on the 26th, where we reach for a distant resistance on the 26th. Should be a lot of movement to the upside there between the after that decline into the trough on the 25th, between the 25th and the 26th. A lot of move to the upside. Be careful though, because that's an opportunity. We turn over and there's a decline on the 27th or into the 27th, increasing with momentum moving forward into a trough. Out of that trough, we have another breakout to the upside, which turns into a sideways fluctuating rally on the 28th. That precedes a decline, either taking place at the end of the day on the 28th or more likely on the 29th, where we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance, important on a 1 month scale minimum, and then a decline through key support into another important trough on the 30th. And my sense is that we probably have more downward momentum in early July, but we haven't gotten into July just yet, so don't count on that until I look into it further. All right, guys, now remember, I'm going to give you one of the best trades that I see here, but it's important to understand, guys, don't get pissed at me if you go and you trade this information after I specifically said do not trade this information without access to our Discord. All right, it's just ridiculous to do that. I'm warning you. Most of the time we're right, but sometimes you're wrong. So you want to have the Discord to stay on track. The trade that I'm seeing, guys, here on the 7th, 8th, I would probably open up, if we have a significant peak at towards the end of the day on the 7th, or on the cusp of the 7th, 8th, I would open up a partial short position there, or close out of longs partially, and then in the daytime on the 8th, or early in the day on the 8th, likely if we're a little bit higher, I would close the rest of that long position and open up the rest of the short position for a swing trade into the 10th, where I'd want to close out when we have a prominent trough, probably a lowest low thus far there on the 10th. I'd want to close out of that short position. And you could probably open up a long position when you close out of the short position for a day trade or an overnight swing into key resistance, which will be identified on the 10th. We'll revisit it on the 11th, and that would be your exit for the long position for the overnight swing. But the main trade there is that short from the 7th, 8th, riding a sharp decline, especially around the cusp of the 9th, 10th, into a prominent trough, and probably a lowest low thus far or close for the month. And that's the best trade that I see, guys. Now, if you want access to the Discord trade alerts, where we go over not just Bitcoin, but we're covering a bunch of other tickers in crypto as well. It's also where you get the refreshed trading view link to the chart, where we refresh this link regularly, but you'll have access to it through Discord, where we actually draw entry and exits. And you can see, I mean, we took May off, so there's not much going on in May there. But you can see we had an entry here into a long position in early April, and that you would have rode that all the way into this here, this area here. The darker the ellipse, the more likely, the higher the probability of price level entering that. And this was created on 324.25 is when I created this ellipse. 324.25. So like all of this hadn't even happened yet, guys. All right, you get access to that as part of the monthly access subscription, as well as the Discord trade alerts, where you can ask me all sorts of questions, and we stay up to date as far as the sequence of events. The way that you get that, I'm not sure if it's here, but let's see. You go to Order Now, Subscriptions. Yeah, it's here. Okay, great. Order now on our website, tarotfortraders.com. Click on Subscriptions, monthly access. It gets you access. This is going to be updated. It gets you access to Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, and QUBT, all covered on a day-by-day basis as part of the monthly access. And that's where we also get into the highs and the lows for the month. All that in the monthly access subscription. Much love and appreciation to everybody that goes ahead and does that. We were off for a month. We paused all subscriptions. Didn't have any income coming in while we dealt with this crazy health issue. Good to be back, guys, but we could definitely use some support. So if you've been thinking about testing this out, now's the time to pull the trigger. And now's the time to pull the trigger on those rule of karma payments. If you've been holding out, guys, it's the right thing to do. Much love and appreciation. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.